Resin spills thick in the workshop maze. Layers pile up, rising from the dust. A shape from the void sheer will and trust. Sanding smoke fills the heavy air. Shavings scatter, but the heart don't care. Brush dips deep in a palette of dreams. Color bleeds to life in fractured gleams. Statues born from the sweat and grind. Pieces fit in a dance unlined. Placed on the shelf like trophies and vines. The resin alchemist carves a ton of time. Flaws, but beauty shines untold. Fingers shake, yet grip the bold. Edges sharp, yet the soul feels raw. Art forged under hands that saw. It's not just a carve or paint that sings. It's shaping chaos into graceful things. The imperfections make it true. Each stroke a story bleeding through. Statues born from the sweat and grind. Pieces fit in a dance unlined. Placed on the shelf like trophies to vines. The resin alchemist carves a ton of time.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel.
Statues born from the sweat and grind. Pieces fit in a dance unlined. Placed on a shelf like trophies divine. The resin alchemist carves the time.
At first I used primer from Vallejo, the white one, for the highlights. After this I saw that it wasn't bright enough, so I used a white color from Vallejo 2 to brighten up the highest points of the figure. Right after this I used red ink cause it's see-through for the clear parts of the lamps.
Resin hearts in a plastic storm. I carve my soul piece by piece.
The first layer of the base was a very bright and thinned down brown.
My art rising on full display. The hum and the hiss feed my grind. Blueprints scrawled in the back of my mind. Pain runs wild in jagged streaks. Each stroke of voice my silence speaks. I carve my soul piece by piece. God of the prince here release.
To get a bit of the story gate and Japanese temple feeling, I used the red to build up some red tones over the browns from the base stand. After this I dry brushed a brighter red to highlight the edges. To paint the ropes from the lamps I used deck tan, and after this I painted skeleton horde over it. I soldered the wires together for later lighten up the lamps. To hide the soldered parts I used rubber tubing just to hide everything that needed to be hidden. And of course to protect the soldered points. Now very happy with the outcome, I can start with the dragon. Each stroke of voice my silence speaks. The hum and the hiss feed my grind. Blueprints scrawled in the back of my mind. Pain runs
dragon streaks. Each local voice my silence speaks.
I had to go back and forth with all the colors to get this fluid color scheme for the height and the scales of the dragon. It had to look uniform in the end.
Gallery, your face swinging back. Perfection born from the plastic tracks. Breathe life where emptiness weeps. Towers rise where the darkness creeps.
The groves and crevasses needed to look deeper, so I used Agrax Earthshade and Nuln Oil to deepen them.
Fierce debates. Pieces of me locked in their fates. Steady through the plastic haze. Resin feels thick in the workshop maze. Layers pile up, rising from the dust. The shape from the void, sheer will and trust.
In between all the paint job, you need to check for dust every now and then to not contaminate the next color.
Scattered blood, but the heart don't care. Brush tips deep in a palette of dreams. Color bleeds to life in fractured gleams. Statues born from the sweat and grind. Pieces fit.
I used a very sharp brush and Vallejo Black for the eyes.
The Resin Alchemist carves the time. Statues born from the sweat and grind. Pieces fit.
I used a gloss varnish for the whole dragon with brush and airbrush so that it sticks out to the matte base.
Carves the time. Minor flaws, but beauty shines untold. Fingers shake, yet grip the bold. Edges sharp, yet the soul feels raw. Art forged under hands that saw.
The flags were colored with deck tan, after this with snakebite leather, with a bit of brown, with a bit of beige, with a bit of washes, a bit of Agrax Earthshade, and after this skeleton horde to look dirty and used.
Placed on the shelf like trophies divine. The Resin Alchemist carves the time.
The foundation for the skin was a very thin layer of dark flesh tone from Vallejo.
Shelf like trophies divine. The Resin Alchemist carves the time. Statues born from the sweat and grind. Pieces fit.
Now I got brighter with flesh tones, brighter and brighter. Between them I used red ink to imitate and simulate the blood vessels under the skin.
Carves the time. Resin Alchemist carves the time. Hands move steady through the plastic haze. Resin feels thick in the workshop.
All layers needed to be seen, so every color was thinned down between 25 and 75%. There's more of the darker colors from below and more of the brighter colors from above, and the brighter colors thinner than the darker colors. Using masking tape I protected the skin. I used yellow, beige and some browns, mixed it in an extra pot to paint it like realistic as much as possible, as old as possible. The mask was metal, so I painted it with yellow, after this with a thin coat of gold to make it shiny. Then there were silver parts. I used a very bright silver. I used metallic silver from Vallejo to To deepen the crevasses in the mask I used Nuln oil, and after this a little bit of black for the eyeballs to get a foundation for the white and deck tan later. Please don't be mad with me, I wasn't checking the angle of the camera in this moment. Always leave a black rim around the eyes.
Stained in shades I can't name, bullet shapes out of hot dripping flame. Layer by layer the ghosts take form, resin hearts in a plastic storm. I carve my soul piece by piece, God of the printed release. They stand like gods ready to slay, my art rising on full display. And the hiss feed my grind, blueprints scrawled in the back of my mind. Pain runs wild in jagged streets, each stroke of voice my silence speaks. I carve my soul piece by piece, God of the printed release. They stand like gods ready to slay, my art rising on full display. The hum and the hiss feed my grind, blueprints scrawled in the back of my mind. Pain runs wild in jagged streets, each stroke of voice my silence speaks. I carve my soul piece by piece, piece by piece, God of the printed release. We stand like gods ready to slay, my art rising on full display. The hum and the hiss.
Some of the finer details with washes, with contrast paints, with browns, with yellows, for the edges, for the shadows, for the crevasses.
Gallery of faces screaming back, perfection born from the plastic tracks. Glossy eyes locked in fierce debate, pieces of me locked in their fate. Hiss feed my grind, blueprints scrawled in the back of my mind. Pain runs wild in jagged streaks, each stroke of voice my silence speaks. The hum and the hiss feed my grind, blueprints scrawled in the back of my mind. Pain runs wild in jagged streaks, each stroke of voice my silence speaks. Patience cracks but steadies my hand, building worlds where none can stand. Breathe life where emptiness weeps, towers rise where the darkness creeps. Gallery of faces screaming back, perfection born from the plastic tracks. Breathe life where emptiness weeps, towers rise where the darkness creeps. Gallery of faces screaming back, perfection born from the plastic tracks. Glossy eyes locked in fierce debates, pieces of me locked in their fates.
For realistic looking black leather, you need to start with an almost black gray and then get brighter, and if you want to have it looking old, you need just to use a little bit of brown after this and dry brush everything. all of Scorpion's furry parts I painted with Dectan, and after this with Skeleton Horde. To let the wool or leather trousers look real, you just need to dry brush the shit out of it in different browns and different grays to fit the upper body.
I've seen in shades I can't name, bullet shapes out of hot dripping flame. Layer by layer the ghosts take form, resin hearts in a plastic storm. I carve my soul piece by piece, God of the printed release. They stand like gods ready to slay, my art rising on full display. The hum and the hiss feed my grind, blueprints scrawled in the back of my mind. Pain runs wild in jagged streets, each stroke of voice my silence speaks. I carve my soul piece by piece, God of the printed release. They stand like gods ready to slay, my art rising on full display. The hum and the hiss feed my grind, blueprints scrawled in the back of my mind. Pain runs wild in jagged streaks. Each stroke of voice my silence speaks. I carve my soul piece by piece, piece by piece. God of the printed release, we stand like gods ready to slay. My art rising on full display. The hum and the hiss feed my grind. Blueprints scrawled in the back of my mind. Paint runs wild in jagged streaks. Each stroke of voice my silence speaks. Gallery of faces screaming back. Perfection born from the plastic tracks. Glossy eyes locked in fierce debate. Pieces of me locked in their fate.
After a few touch-ups, I was finished and I would say really satisfied with the outcome.
Molten dreams in his trembling hands. Resin flows like rivers where he stands. Fire and fury feed the shape unseen. Born from chaos, sharp and lean. Winter horns a hymn of raw creation. Layers lifeless till his wild temptations. Fire and fury feed the shape unseen. Born from chaos, sharp and lean. Printer hums a hymn of raw creation. Layers lifeless till his wild temptation. Sculpting the edges, breathing them to life. Clashing shadows with a loaded knife. Shaft of glory, trophies caught